Okay, good day everyone. This is Teresa Barton with the Guardian Network. You're seeing us on Facebook, and I have one of my favorite people. She is, I'll just say the word, she's a pet freak like me. Peggy Hoyt is an attorney who does a lot of specialization in different areas, but one of her favorite to me, is the whole world of pet planning. For those of you who don't know what pet planning means, it's essentially what's going to happen to your pet or pets or many pets if you are either unable to care for them because of a cognitive impairment or if you pass away. This is a huge issue. I've been doing care management, guardianship, and advocacy for 25 years. I cannot tell you how many times this has become a problem. As a pet person, I want everyone to listen to this video, send it to your friends, start talking about this, because if you have a plan for your pet, any start of a plan, that's better than nothing. So I'm introducing Peggy, one of my friends, and she's going to start talking about pet planning, sort of A to Z. So,
well, thank you, Teresa. And this is fun, and it is one of my very favorite topics, and one that Teresa and I like to get together and talk about on a pretty regular basis. So yes, I will take her moniker of being a pet freak. I currently have 3 horses and 7 dogs and 2 cats. And the other night I actually had 9 dogs at my house, and my husband was like, 9 dogs? Too many dogs.
Too many.
But having said that, part of the reason I ended up with 9 dogs was because of improper planning. So somebody has an issue, they're not able to take care of their dogs, there's no emergency plan in place for who comes and gets the dogs, what happens to them, you know, where do they go if this becomes a long drawn out process.
Right.
And so when Teresa and I talk about pet planning, we're really talking about it for lots of reasons. But right now, while you're alive and well, in the event of a natural disaster, because that's another way where we could need a pet plan, what happens if you become mentally disabled or physically disabled and end up in the hospital, or just you're away from your home, you've been in an accident, you've taken a fall, you've gotten an illness, something has happened where you can't take care of your pets for some period of time.
And there's so many, that's just the beginning of the possibilities, how many things, potential times that it could happen. And why we like to talk about this is to just get you to conceptually start thinking about, it's really very similar to having a 2-year-old child in the back of your car or in your home with you or at your office with you. If there is not a designated person who is able to take custody, deal with any of the needs of that 2-year-old toddler, it's really not much different than your 6-month-old Labrador. There has to be a plan, because if there isn't a plan, no plan at all is a plan to fail, and it fails all the time. Quick story so you can understand how often this happens. This happens, Peggy and I hear about it every single week. A client living alone, a widowed gal in her 80s, takes a fall in her home. You see this on TV every single day. Maybe it's not a really bad fall, but she can't get up. By the time the EMTs get to her, first problem is her dog is panicked. Everything's wrong to that dog. She's on the floor, possibly bleeding, maybe in and out of consciousness. Maybe she's been there for 2 days or longer,
right,
which is really horrible. Maybe the mailman sees the mail piling up. Somebody takes an action. The EMTs come to the door. Now, the first problem may happen is they have to break that door down. So if you want to upset a dog, break a door down and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, break into my house.
Yeah.
See what happens.
See what happens. So now what happens is you've got the little dog who, let's say she has a Yorkie. So now this Yorkie has been stressed, maybe no food or no water, maybe for 48 or 36 hours. Her mother, her most important thing to her in the world, is on the floor in the kitchen, maybe out of consciousness. Now 2 big guys in black uniforms with jingly, noisy stuff and boots and radios come in. What do you think the dog's going to do? The most likely thing that dog is going to do is bite. So now you have a client that their primary concern, those EMTs, is taking care of her laying on the ground. They really aren't paying a lot of attention to the dog other than trying to not get bit. But if they get bit, what happens, Peggy?